Mm, it seems a little quite loose. Uh, it's that would seem to favor the pedophiles that are causing harm, wouldn't you say?
Um, well, let me put it to you this way. Uh, I would rather that criminals were free than one innocent man was in prison. You understand what I'm saying? I would. So if there are pedophiles who are not harming anyone, I would rather that. What can I say? I would rather that they were doing their thing if they're nice about it, than stop them just to stop harm that should be stopped by parents anyway.
Could you put yourself in a parent's position, and do you think your opinion would change? What kind of sexual activity would you be okay with, and at what age, and does that change anything?
Well, I wouldn't judge by age. I would try to judge by capacity of the child. No, I don't think that as a parent, my opinion would change.
Do you think have any misconception about you in this topic? Do you think they're not understanding you correctly? Is there something that you can clear up here?
I really wish there was. I've tried everything I can on the forum, but I think the important thing to say is that I'm approaching this from a completely logical perspective of fairness, consistency, and it's not really anything personal. I approach this the same as I approach every other topic. And just because it makes people uncomfortable, I'm not going to hold anything back for that reason. I know it upsets people, but if you go back in history, any discussion of homosexuality upset people. Homosexuality has sparked murders. If you go further back, you find adultery sparked high emotion in people. And people were also killed for that. Interestingly enough, when it was adultery and homosexuality that was the sexual behavior that sparked the most outrage, sexual relations with minors didn't affect anyone on the level that it does people today. So really, it seems to me that what has changed is not people. What has changed is simply the topic of focus. And as we look back, homosexuality, adultery are things that people are not concerned about anymore. Yet they were tremendous hysterias. I think it's important to say that when it comes to any sexual topic, really, high emotion is always involved. And but people have taken more time with a variety of other topics. But this one is rather neglected. And it's a broad and difficult topic, like many sexual topics, but people fail to appreciate how difficult it is. They try to simplify it, and through simplifying it, they don't understand it, and they're not being fair. I mean, if someone is harming a child, I am just as angry as everyone else. But I have seen and heard about relationships where I don't see the harm. For example, there was a man arrested in Canada recently. He was maybe, I think, 40 or 50 years old, and he was having a relationship with an 11-year-old girl. And as soon as I say that, people's minds immediately start to imagine and fill in blanks. But that's not fair. Everything I've read about the relationship sounds like it was very fair, on the level, consensual. They were exchanging mails before they got together. She went to his house a few times. So neither of these two seem to be having a problem. So what is the problem of everyone else?
Well, how do we establish consent? How do you establish that?
It's extremely difficult in any situation, even if you're talking about another topic such as rape. Recently, Julian Assange was arrested, or not arrested, but I think he was arrested in Britain over rape charges in Sweden. But he didn't use any violence with either of them. In fact, they did consent, but it seems there was maybe some bit of knowledge they didn't know, like they didn't know about the other woman that he slept with, and that lack of knowledge was considered to be rape, something like that. I'm not even sure, but how do we establish consent there? Establishing consent is a very difficult thing, because it's in the minds of two people, and there is no easy way to read what's going on in the minds of two people. But in this case I mentioned in Canada, you look at the basic facts. They were exchanging mail. She visited him several times. And there's absolutely no evidence of coercion that I could find. And believe me, I did look, but I couldn't find any evidence that there was no consent outside of the idea that a minor cannot consent, which I think is a bit silly.
So it seems that this topic has given you a bit of a bad rap on JT. What do you want people to think about Zorro? How do you want people to know you? How would you like them to describe you?
Well, I'd like them to think of me and describe me as the guy who is all about truth, fairness, and honesty. I'm never trying to steer people down the wrong road. I'm always just trying to find the truth and to deliver it. Unfortunately, I think it rubs some people the wrong way. But I guess I'd like to be known as the guy who never submitted to the mob, and the guy that you can always count on to shoot straight every time. And
that's a lot to live up to.
Well, I guess so. I guess it helps that I'm a bit of a loner. So if I'm disowned by everyone, that's okay. I'm really all about the truth, and that's it. I'm not in it for any kind of personal gain, and I'm never trying to hurt someone. If there's any emotion in my post, it's all about the presentation, and it's not anything to do with the argument that I'm trying to present.
Good.
Okay. I would like to leave the floor open to you if you have any shout-outs you'd like to make to any of the JT Forum members.
I think I speak for everyone when I say I love Kunsthoffel. He's Stephen. He's a great guy, and I really respect him for the patience and the gentleness that I don't have.
And finally, if you would, just a few words of wisdom in Japanese for our JT Forum members.
まあね、こんなふうな質問はよく来ますけど、何を言えばいいとよくわからないんだけど。じゃあ、皆さん私のことを我慢して話しましょう。
はい、お願いします。
お願いします。
Well, thank you very much again, Zorro, for coming on to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for your time. It was great talking to you. Hopefully we can do it again sometime.
That would be great. That would be
All right,
good. I really look forward to doing this again.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
And thank you, everybody out there listening and being very patient and putting up with all of the echoes. Thanks once again. Hopefully it won't take so long to get the podcast up. But until next time, take care, everybody.
There's a Japanese flag